If I were to be given this assignment, there are two ways that I would approach it prior to doing the research. The first way that I would look at this is maybe I would develop a thesis and then start the research. So if I'm developing a thesis, I'll look at a term like community. I'll come up with my definition. So to me, community is a group of people who help one another in times of need. So now that I have that thesis, I can then start searching for examples of people who have come together to help others in time of need, and I can try to find my evidence that way. The other way, which is probably more feasible to me, is to start with my research and then come up with my thesis. So in doing my research, I'm going to look at examples of community. I'm going to look at stories of communities maybe coming together. And once I have those stories, then that can lead me to my thesis. The reason I like doing it this way is especially when we get into our next paper, which is an argument paper. What can happen if when we start with our thesis first is we might get what's called confirmation bias. Let's say that we are arguing that we should abolish capital punishment. If I only look for articles that support my thesis, then I'm not looking at the other side. And so I'm trying to just support my side rather than to find out should we abolish capital punishment. I like to keep my opinion open-ended until I get that research and then make up my mind. Another example would be torturing prisoners in a military setting. I've never been in the military. I don't understand military objectives and strategies. And so I don't know whether it's a good idea or not. If I start with my thesis and I say it's a good idea, that's all I'm going to find as I do my research because I'm going to dismiss all of the arguments against. Instead, I want to tailor it to should prisoners in a military setting be tortured? And then I'm going to gather all the research. I'm going to read through the research and then I can make up my mind. So research papers, we're not just trying to find research to support our arguments. We're using research to find out whether something is true or not. We're using research to get facts and data from experts prior to creating an opinion. All too often, if you're on Facebook or some type of social media, we see opinions that are thrown out without any type of evidence. So we want to gather that evidence first and evaluate it and sift through it and find out what the arguments are, and then we can better make an opinion. So for this paper and future papers, I would recommend first doing the research and then creating a thesis.